Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Reds Room, where we take an in-depth look at Cincinnati Reds baseball memorabilia. I'm your host, Sean Sparks, and my guest joining us today, once again, all the way from Westchester, Ohio, Chris Likens. Chris, welcome back to the Reds Room.
Thanks for having me, Sean.
Awesome. Well, let's get right into this because I'm really excited about what we got here today because I don't know anything about this kind of stuff other than I know I like it. It's really cool. We got postcards, and these are vintage postcards, some dating back to the early 1900s,
Yes.
correct? Yeah. And, there's so much history that's told in a picture. I do love photos and things like that, especially historical ones. So, okay, enough from me. What do you got to say about these postcards you brought for us today?
Well, I brought some vintage postcards of both Crosley Field and Palace of the Fans.
Mm-hmm.
A wide range of years, anywhere from the later years in Crosley Field, late 60s, 50s, all the way back to Palace of the Fans, early 1900s, 1909, 1908.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. Now, I can see the back side of these, and, I'll bring them up on screen for you folks there to see as well. But I noticed some of these, and this is maybe what I love the most, have, writing on the back. Like these were actually sent through the mail and was sharing with, a special someone.
Yeah, these were not sold as collectibles. They were sold to be a form of communication from someone in Cincinnati, mailing it to a friend or family member.
Yeah.
Often just saying, hey, I'm at a Reds game.
Mm-hmm.
There was no obviously other. You had to send something through the mail, and it tells the history of Cincinnati back then.
Yeah, and that's how people communicated a lot, by writing. And these, I'm looking at these, and I mean they're these were produced just by various companies. There's not like a standard company. I mean, perhaps the Reds produce some of them themselves, but there's not like a standard company that I see produce these. It'd be just various printing companies, I assume. Yeah. So just kind of looking at each one, what would you say distinguishes some of these apart from the others?
So just real quick, about the whether it's postally used or not. I actually prefer with the postmark because roughly when it was made, when it was, it tells you the exact year that it was sent through the mail. And this one right here is 1909.
Oh, it tells like it's postage stamped.
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
And then, value-wise, they are worth more if it's unused because people did, write on them. So to find it, a postcard from the early 1900s that someone bought and just never mailed will be worth more, but I actually do prefer one of each if I can find it. So then that way
roughly a time date for it.
Yeah, when it was made.
And you're probably like me. You probably appreciate the story written to it, like this one here. Just kind of reading it. What does that say? Will
commence
on my eyes tomorrow. Yeah, like they had an eye appointment or something. Maybe. Yeah, I mean that's fascinating stuff. That really meant something to somebody.
Mailed to Chicago.
Chicago. Yeah, that's great. So you appreciate the history of it too, also. That's great. And what's that one say? Just curious. Hello.
Hello, everybody. I am now sitting in my bus in Chicago with all boys about.
Yeah, hard to read, but there again.
It is now 6 o'clock.
Yeah, this person is sitting on a bus full of people, and there's the history. And when was that one postmarked from? That's?
It's like 1956.
Wow.
Mailed to Covington, Virginia.
Covington, Virginia. That's fascinating. Now, like you said, you kind of like to have one of each. How would something like this, a collection, if you were to display it, how do you think you would? Would you display it kind of like how we have here on just little stands, or would you frame it? What would you do?
Depends on how many you have. You can display it like in a curio cabinet on the display with display stands. You can hang them up on a wall, almost like in a baseball card holder. If you just have a few, 2 or 3 that you really want to highlight, you could frame it just like a photo, matted and get it professionally framed.
Yeah. Well, and I also noticed I'm seeing all these. These look to be like all the stadium shots from the various years. But do they also do other ones that are like player based and things like that?
Yep, there's a whole bunch that were done of the players.
Mm-hmm.
I don't collect them just because there's so many.
Yeah.
So I just decided to focus on the stadiums and even Riverfront, Synergy Field and Great American Ballpark as well.
Okay. And do you have a particular favorite? That's kind of interesting to me.
My favorite would probably be the first night game.
This one here?
Yep.
Okay. That is fascinating.
My grandfather attended that game, and so just with the family history connected to the game.
Yeah, that is a cool one. Well, I'm just trying to think which one I like. Yeah, I think I like some of the ones that show the original Redland Field down here. Is it this one here? Yeah, that's perhaps one of my favorites.
And one thing with Postcards too is, with the printing companies, there's different variants.
We'll just leave that there.
Here at the top of this one, it says Ballpark National League Cincinnati O.
Okay.
And then this one says 12,000 people at the ballpark Cincinnati O. So while it looks like the same image, it has different text on it. So
it's kind of a variant, so to speak. Okay. And now let's get into value of these various types of things. I mean, what would someone expect to pay typically for these types of postcards?
I mean, you could pick up a cheap one for $25, $30.
Yeah.
The ones from the early 1900s, you're usually looking at $75 to $80 or more.
Okay.
And just like anything, condition matters. See this one right here. It's a rare postcard, but it's been creased. It's got a ding in the corner. The back is blackened.
Yeah.
But sometimes when it's rare, you just got to take what you can find.
Take what you can find, yeah, because you don't see them. Now, I don't see a lot of people that collect postcards. But I know they're hugely popular. Do you find it's a competitive market for this type of thing, or is it more just what you happen upon?
Yes and no.
Okay.
The Palace of the Fan ones, they're so hard to find, so rare.
Yeah.
It just takes a few collectors, to really drive the price up on one.
I see. Okay. And where would you find these things? Is this like garage sale finds, or these eBay or auction sites, or where does something like this even found?
I find the postcards really just the same place you find any type of sports collectible, online, sports shops, card shows. I mean, at this day and age, nobody really throws them out. So if it's been saved since the early 1900s, it's a good chance that you'll find them. It was kept around.
Have you personally seen any postcards dating back into the 1800s?
I don't believe so. Not me personally, no.
Okay. Well, I think that's about all the time we have for this episode. I hope you all enjoyed this. And if you did, make sure to click that like button and subscribe to this channel. And be sure to check out the Cincinnati Reds Memorabilia Collectors Facebook group. Join up. You'll learn lots more information, and we can discuss things about this and other Reds memorabilia. And until next time, folks, happy collecting.